Okay guys, this video is going to be a little bit different. You're not going to see my face because I haven't even put on makeup today and that is too scary. So, in the last video, I talked about how my videos were going to be showing some of the things I love. One of those loves are reptiles. I've loved reptiles for a very long time. Before breast cancer, I had over 200 snakes. Yes, over 200 snakes. We had a business called NevaeH Reptiles. We went around and did different reptile shows. And yeah, a lot of them. Anyway, we did a lot of shows and we met a lot of great people, met a lot of friends, made a lot of friends, and we really, really loved it. And then when I got sick, it became a little bit too hard for me to go up and down flights of stairs on a daily basis, going through chemo to care for the animals the way they need to be cared for. And as far as dealing with the mice and the rats, we actually have frozen rodents that we actually feed our animals. And just dealing with having to be around those kind of things and cleaning the cages and things like that, my doctor thought that it was a good idea that I try to distance myself as much as I could. And at the time, I also did have live rats. I loved my rats. They were like my babies. And he told me that I could not be around them at all during my chemotherapy. Well, I was the only one that cleaned them, so that made it kind of hard. So I had to sell all of those, which broke my heart. I literally cried over that more than I did the fact that I had cancer. That was the big thing for me. That was my life. So losing them was like losing my family. So when we moved down here, where we are now, a year and a half ago, I did keep a couple snakes because I could not distance myself completely from losing all of my snakes. I had one snake that was very kinked in her spine, meaning that her spine would go straight and then it would turn and go straight, then it would turn, and she had lumps all over her spine. When I hatched her out of the egg, we didn't think she was going to make it, but she did, and she made it for 4.5 years. We moved down here on April 9th, 2018, and she passed away this past spring. When she passed away, my life crumbled. My whole world crumbled. I cried and cried and cried and cried because she was the baby that was not supposed to make it, and she made it. She was Heather. She was my Heather, and I didn't think that I would ever own another snake. Well, a friend of mine had sent me a snake last fall that had a little bit of a roly-poly kind of action when he was crawling around. And she offered to send me a snake that she had that had another kink spine that was the same kind of morph, similar, a morph that she was. And I at first wasn't going to do it. I was like, no, I'm done with snakes. I can't do any more snakes. I can't do this again. Then my husband said, honey, this is what you love to do. Don't give up on this. You need a purpose in life. Find your purpose again. So my purpose again became snakes. Corn snakes, to be specific. I don't do anything other than corn snakes. So yeah, I did it again, but not as many. I have 24. I want to show you what I have, and I'm going to apologize in advance for this room that we have because I do not have a designated reptile room anymore because we did not plan on doing this when we moved here. So we have a room that's off of our basement, off of our finished room, that's an unfinished room that we are going to be adding electricity, and we have a back corner that right now is for storage that we are going to be adding sink and things like that. It's supposed to be a bathroom back there, but we're just going to be probably doing a sink to start out with. That way I'll have an area to be cleaning my cages and things like that. And for cages, I have tubs, and you'll see what I mean by that as soon as I release this red screen that you see. We also keep our dog crates in here, so you'll see that because we do have dogs. And I apologize in advance if you hear them banging against the door because they try to get in the room. I'm going to be showing some feedings. I do frozen feedings, like I said, but I'm going to be showing a couple of them. I'll show you a couple of the snakes, and then I will let it go. I'm not going to be doing a long video, just a short one, because I had a request to do some snake feedings, and I'm going to do that today. We also have a tarantula. I will not show her. She's kind of in hiding. She kind of goes into stages where she hides out for a while, and she's like that. I do have a crested gecko who's also kind of hiding for the day. I have my son's crested gecko that I'm keeping for him because he just moved to a new home, so she's here. Other than that, I'm going to show you what I have. So here's the room. Like I said, it's kind of like a little bit of a jambalaya kind of room. I have my bookshelves, and then I have the dog crates. I have the mess in the corner that I spoke of. And then I have my little area of NevaeH Reptiles. This is how I house my snakes. My larger snakes are in the longer tubs. And then I have the smaller ones. I've already got everything ready to go for feeding, so I can show you how I do that. These guys here and these guys here are in what's called brumation. I don't do a full brumation. A brumation means that you cool them down for the winter time so that in the spring you can get them out for breeding purposes. In the wild they kind of do this. I don't do what's called a full brumation, which is where you actually cool them down to really low temperatures and you cool the room down. I usually don't do any kind of brumation, but I decided to give it a try this year because I tried a little trial breeding this year and it didn't work out. When I got back into snakes, I thought, well, I'm going to try to do one pair to see whether or not I wanted to go back into the breeding aspect, and that pair did not breed at all. And the guy told me, well, I brumated it last year, so maybe that's why I try brumation. So I'm going to try a little brumation and see with these adults to see whether it does produce anything next year if I decide to go that route. I'm not really sure. It all depends on my health and where I am at this time next year. So anyway, these guys are in brumation, but I do want to show you one of my adult snakes. Her name is Jagoda. She came from my friend Terry. She's a hyperberry, het a male, Anery and Motley. And what het means is that it does not express that gene, but that the gene is actually in their genetics. This is Jagoda. She's looking at me like, why can't you feed me? During brumation time, they do not get fed. They get weighed, they get cleaned for any kind of urates, which is snake pee, and they get their water, but they don't get fed. I try not to handle them too much because it, kind of warms them up. But she's a lover, so she does like to be handled. I do want to show you her because she's pretty special to me. She was special to Terry, so she's special to me. So this is Jagoda. I'm going to put her back after kisses. Because yes, I do kiss on my snakes. I know people think that's gross, but I do that. But as you can tell, I mean, corn snakes are pretty docile for the most part. And yes, I have been bitten, for people that want to ask that question. Corn snakes generally, not all of them, but generally when you get bit by a corn snake, it feels like Velcro hitting your skin. So it happens a lot of times because of the fault of the owner. Mine has been because of the fault of me. I go to feed them and either my hand gets in the way or I don't use a tongue the way I'm supposed to, and that's the reason for it. The next snake I'm going to show you is my favorite snake out of every single snake in the room, and this is Abacus. He was the one that actually came to me last fall, the one that had the roly-poly that I was telling you about, and he does not do that anymore. He's a moonstone pied blood. A moonstone is an anery lavender. He is the absolute best snake in the whole wide world. He is gorgeous. Wait till you see him. It's hard to hold the camera and do this at the same time, so bear with me. This is my Abacus. And now I'll call him Have a Kiss because when he comes out, he wants to give kissy faces. And that's what he does. He kissy faces. He loves me. And I'm not going to show my face. I'm not going to show how he does that. Well, now he's going to try to go up my shirt. There he is. But Abacus is very special to me. Since when Terry sent him to me... Whoops, sorry, Abby. When Terry sent him to me, he was just a tiny little baby. Very tiny little baby. And we didn't even know if he was going to make it because his spine rolled. When he would slither, he would literally roll. But now I'm going to show you how he does not do that anymore. Okay, watch him. Come on, Abby. Come on, buddy. Come on. Come on. Excuse all the dog hair. No matter how much I vacuum, I still have the hair from my Shiba Inu, like, everywhere. Come on. And as you can see, there's no roly-poly. He just slithers along like a normal snake. But this one here has a personality that will win your heart. Because if I hold any other snake in this room before I hold him, he holds a grudge. He will literally avoid any part of my face. And I know that sounds weird to people that don't understand snakes, but this is the snake that when I open his box, he automatically comes out, comes toward my face, and nuzzles me. He will literally nuzzle my face and take his little tongue and twitch all over my nose, my cheek. He gets in my glasses. I mean, he's just so lovable. And if I hold any other snake before I hold him, he avoids me. He's like, nope, you've touched another snake before you touch me. How dare you? And that's what he does. So he's really, really funny. He's hilarious. And when we used to go camping during the summer and we would come home, he would hold a grudge because I didn't take him with us. But that's a little impossible. Excuse my hand. I'm going to put Abby back so I can show you. I'm going to show you a couple other snakes as I feed them. But I'm going to show you with Abacus. I have my food out every night, and then I put them in one of the snake bins to heat them. I'm only going to feed one. I do usually feed 2 prey items at a time, depending on the snake. Some snakes don't take 2. Some of my little smaller snakes I don't feed 2. This is what you call a fuzzy. And Abacus. I know they say snakes don't hear, but I do talk to my snakes. He will come and he will eat us. Abacus. And this is the tubs I was talking to you about. There are heat. It's called heat tape that's in the back. And there we go. And they take it down into their bellies. But the racks have heat on them, and then we have thermostats that control that heat. If you do not have thermostats that control your heat, you can actually fry your snakes. So if you get into snakes, make sure that you do have thermostats that control your heat. No matter if it's a heat tape, a heat panel, no matter what kind of heat that you use, you do have to have something to control that. So as he eats, I will move right along. The next one is Akasha. She's a Tessera, and a Tessera is one of my favorite morphs as well. I just love the Tessera gene. So I'm going to show you that. If she comes out far enough for you to see. I have more Tesseras, so if she doesn't come out far enough, I'll show you another one. Come on, Akasha. There she goes. Okay. Let's see. Who else will take it? I don't know. Some snakes are funky. We don't like to take their food quickly, but let's see. Benicia. This one is a het for palmetto. She's an anery het for palmetto. Palmetto was one of the snakes that my husband had always wanted. He'd wanted one for years, and at the time they were $4,000 snakes. Yes, $4,000 snakes, and they were very rare. They didn't have them hardly anywhere, so we never could get one. And then this spring, when I got back into snakes, they had come down considerably in price. Still not as easy to find them. I had to really search to try to find them. But I was able to find 2, plus her. She will produce them. And then I also have 2 other ones that are adults that will produce them. So I feel very fortunate. She can be a little weird sometimes with her food. I'm going to have to skip over her and do her off camera. I'm just going to leave it in there for her. Sometimes that works with her too. That's Benicia. I'm going to show you one of the palmettos so you know exactly what I was talking about. And that's Prometheus. He's an anery palmetto. And a palmetto has the spots. I don't know how to describe that to you. And my palmettos can be weird when it comes to feeding. They have beautiful silver eyes. And then his mate is going to be Pandora. And as you'll see her, you can see she's totally different. He's the anery palmetto and she's just a palmetto. Now with her, we actually have to take her, or I have to actually take her, and put her in a feeding tub because she will not eat off the tongs. And generally will not eat in her box for some reason. So she goes into this little feeding tub. And I put the mouse in there for her. And then she'll eat it. But she is absolutely gorgeous. When I got her, it made my husband's day. Even though he doesn't, you know, mess with the snakes, doesn't come down here, it still made his day because that's exactly what he wanted. I got some grossness in the... I think they got heated up a little too much, so I gotta weed those out. I'm going to skip over some of the other ones so I can show you. This is another Tessera. That way you can kind of see what the pattern looks like. His name is Gman because he had a little G pattern on his head. And since my name is Jenny with a G, this is Gman. Isn't he gorgeous? It's hard to see his little G pattern on his head now since he's grown up some. But I'll show you how he eats because he loves to eat. All right. And they think it's alive, but it's not. So they coil around it. And this is my other favorite. Something happened to me and I had to leave and go somewhere. This is Zilla. I'd have to have Zilla, Zenobia, which I'll show you, and Abacus would have to be waiting for me when I came home because they're my loves. Isn't he beautiful? Just love him so much. Just a little bitty thing when I got him in the spring too. He's like a garbage disposal. He really is. He's a hypoplasma Tessera, which means he has the lavender gene. And if you see his eyes, that's a lavender eye. Gorgeous, isn't he? Okay. And he's got that peach in him. And he also will eat like crazy. Wait till you see the way he takes the food. Like there's no tomorrow. He's like, I gotta have it. I gotta have it now. The next one I want to show you, her name is Clementine. She is a habanero. And she is a buff female. Wait till you see her. She's a Tessera also. She likes these little tubes. Gorgeous or what? Look at that. Just look at that beautiful color. And she's also a garbage disposal. I should just call this my garbage disposal rack. But she's very gentle. Very gentle. So that's those. Now I have an interesting little critter over here who will only eat if I'm holding her. Her name is Zinnia. Zinnia is very weird. She will not take it off the tongs. She will only take it if I am holding her in my hands and I have to literally hold her. I don't know whether or not I can do this on camera. I'm going to attempt it. I need to figure out a way to be able to do videos for you guys better. So I apologize. This video is probably, I probably lost you guys a long time ago. You're probably like, okay, I'm not going to watch any more of this. So if you're still with me, thank you. Like, really thank you, because it's probably getting extremely boring and it's very unprofessional. I'm going to do my best to try to show you how I have to feed her, because it's not going to be easy to try to show it to you, but I'm going to have to try. Because she just will not eat unless I'm holding her in my hands. See, she lets go. Can you see that? I'm not sure if you guys can even see it. She's almost got me a couple times. She rattles her tail. It's so funny. And then she, I don't know if you heard that or not. Imagine if that was a finger. She just, for some reason, I've tried and tried and tried to feed her in her box. She just won't do it. And I have to hold it for a while. And she's just interesting little baby. She's been like that since the day I got her. I just keep thinking, what am I going to do when she hits like 400 grams? She's going to be like this, and I'm going to have to hold her, feeding her this big old mouse or something. And she's going to forget that she's got my hand behind her. Alright, so what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm going to put her down and feed her off camera. I just wanted to kind of show you how she has to do that. I'm not going to bore you with any more. Zenobia is my other one that I have to take out and put in a container. She will only take it off tongs every so often. She's going to be Zilla's mate. And look at her. Let you see how pretty she is. That's where the tarantula is, by the way, and that's one of the geckos. And up there's the other one. And I used to have 13 tarantulas. And I'm terrified of spiders. Makes no sense. But anyway, enough of that. This is Zenobia. She's a little camera shy, but she's nice and gentle. All my snakes are gentle. She matches my nails. But I have to actually take her out and put her in a little deli cup because she's very shy when it comes to feeding. So I take her out and I put her in this little deli cup like this. And then I put the mouse in there with her. And then I close it up. And I actually put it back in her bin. And then she'll eat it. So I give her time to do that. Alright, let's check on the other ones and see if they've eaten theirs. I do believe Benicia ate hers. Let's see. Yep, she's got a little lump in hers, so she ate hers. So then what I do, once they eat, I put their little shelf pin back. And then I take a marker, a wipe off marker, and I write the date. So today is 11/12. And then I write down 1F, which means fuzzy. And then I do that with my other ones. I just write down as they eat. As you can see, like with those guys, I wrote what they've been eating. I just cleaned off theirs because I had the last few weeks worth of things on theirs. Orpheus, this guy is absolutely gorgeous. I want to show you him before I go. He is beautiful. He's an opal blood tessera. His tessera pattern's getting less and less able to see, but if I go close, you can see the pattern on him. He has a little spot on him. Terry also sent me. Most of these snakes came from her. Her name's Terry House. She has amazing snakes, and her business is Genetically Morphed Reptiles out of Williamsburg, Virginia, and she has amazing snakes. But he has like a little spot up in his spine where he got stuck in a when they were moving, he got stuck in a rack by no fault of hers. It was the moving company, but he's gotten so big. He used to be this tiny little baby when he came, and you could actually see like this indentation on his spine, and now it's getting less and less noticeable. You probably can't even, unless I point it out to you, you're probably not going to be able to see it, but it's right there. Like right where that color changes, that's where the spot on his spine is. But I love his head. Look at his head. Isn't that beautiful? He's absolutely gorgeous. And I know I said I wasn't going to make this video long, and I'm at 24 minutes, so I'm going to stop. I just wanted to show you guys. Just show you guys my love. I have, like I said, 24. I do have one big one. I have to show you guys. This is one of the ones that make what's called a scaleless corn. First, I have to show you a scaleless, so you'll know what I mean by scaleless. Scaleless means they don't have any scales that cover their body. Okay, this is a scaleless corn. This is Achilles. This is a snake that the only way that he's calm is if he's rocking in a rocking chair. I know that's weird, but that's him. But they have no scales. See, they don't have any scales at all on their body. None. So I have him. And I have Boreas. This is a snow scaleless. As you can see, he's got none on him. He's also in hibernation or brumation. And then I have this big girl, and I mean big. She's huge. She actually makes scaleless, and that's one of the ones I tried to pair up, was her and then him. I tried to pair them this year, and it just was no go. That's why I decided to brumate. But she's a big girl. She's like 5 foot long, and she weighs 853 grams. So she's definitely needed this brumation because she needs to lose some weight. She's overweight. She was overweight when I got her. She actually, I put her on a diet and she gained weight. So I'm not really sure. I thought maybe she might have some eggs in her, but nope, she does not. Anyway, thanks for hanging out with me as I showed you my snakes and fed some snakes. And no, there's nothing in these. This was the extra rack I had when I had, these guys were smaller. And I had them in that rack, and then I had to expand my racks. And then as they get bigger, I'll have to get a bigger rack. And then I'm going to move some racks to this side of the room. Once I get my electricity in and get the walls and stuff put in, I'm going to have more rack space. Because these racks convert to these racks. They either use a smaller size, which is about that size for hatchling, then they go to this size rack, and then they go, or tub, excuse me, then they go to this size tub. So I'm going to get some more of this rack, because there's actually there's two racks here stacked. So I'm actually going to get another one of those rack systems to put on the other side of the room for when these guys get bigger, so that way I can expand over to the other side and have them for when they get bigger. And then I'll have these racks for my babies when I have babies, hopefully next year, if I decided to go that route. Anyway, thanks for hanging with me, guys. If you have any questions, please let me know. Please don't forget to like and subscribe so you can see when I add more videos. I think the next video I'm going to do is going to be about my Juvia's Place makeup. I have almost everything they've done. So I'm going to show you my haul and show you everything that I have by them. And just wait, because I have a lot. It's going to be fun. So if you have any other videos you would like to see, just let me know. Until then, have a wonderful, blessed day. Thanks, guys.